I'm here with Jordan Nast at the Beaumont Seventh-day Adventist Church in Texas. And you had some Adventist roots way long ago, but drifted away. Tell us your story here.
So it's a great story. When I was a child, I remember going to cradle roll and going to Sabbath school in the mornings. And unfortunately, my mother had a small difference with some church members, and we moved from New York, or upstate New York, Rochester, New York, to Puerto Rico, and we just stopped going to church completely. So fast forward a decade later, I graduated from the University of Puerto Rico with my wife, and we moved here to Texas. And I was going through some tough times at the time. I had some differences with my father, and we weren't on speaking terms, and I was really trying to fill that void. So I actually started working somewhere, and I met a gentleman. His name's Rick. And he goes up to me one day after a few months working together, and he just approaches me and says, "Hey, Jordan, my two daughters are going to participate in church this weekend. One of them is preaching, and the other one, she's going to be singing. Would you like to go?" And the first thing that came to mind was, of course. I mean, this man had helped me so much, helped me get my first career-oriented job. And I was so grateful for this gentleman that I said, "Of course I'll be there to see your daughters in church." So I asked him, "By the way, what church do you go to?" And he told me, "I'm a Seventh-day Adventist." And it just shocked me because it had been so long since I've met a Seventh-day Adventist. It had been so long since I've gone to any church. And for this one person, after so many years, to approach me, and he happened to be a Seventh-day Adventist, I knew that this was the beginning of something great. That's something that I had been looking for. So fast forward years later, after I felt ready to be baptized, I wanted to wait for that decision to be placed in my heart. And many had asked me, but when I was ready, I let the current pastor know. His name is Pastor Lake. And I was baptized because I was about to have my first child, and I wanted to start the year right. I got baptized in January, and my daughter was born in February. So then one day, when it was the day of being baptized, the gentleman that had introduced me to this church again, he was sitting at front row, and when I looked down at him after I had finished getting baptized, I could see him weeping and crying. He probably wouldn't want me to share that, but it was a beautiful moment. And I compare that day to my wedding day. That commitment, I felt just as nervous, and that same feeling of commitment and love that I felt the day of my wedding is what I felt that day when I got baptized. So
Beautiful. And that was about 4 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Your wife, 6 months later, made her decision to be baptized.
Yes, my wife.
Now you have a precious little growing family, and you're involved here in the church.
Yes.
God
Yes,
has a way of
absolutely.
arranging things we never could.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing, Jordan.
Thank you, Pastor. Have a blessed day.